first time I went to Disney World was like the first time living out a dream. When you spend the first few years of your life watching these characters in a movie, wishing to see them, it is almost unreal when you step into a park and see that character, seeming to have stepped right off the screen. 1 week doesn't seem like enough, but it was all a kid needed. It was a place just for you. After that 1 week had passed, my family and I had to say goodbye to the place where dreams come true. On the plane ride home, I was already planning what I would do the day I returned to Disney. 2 years had passed since then, and I was growing anxious and wondering if I would ever go back. As an 8-year-old, those 2 years seemed like an eternity. In August of 2005, my aunts, uncles, and I all gathered to celebrate my mom's birthday. After a few hours of playing and goofing around, my 6 cousins and I were called into the living room. We walked in to see the adults with their cameras ready, handing each one of us a Christmas hat and a piece of paper we were not allowed to look at. My cousins and I were confused. Christmas hats in August? What were they thinking? After standing awkwardly and wondering what the heck was going on, I could see my cousins' papers each had one word on them. I squinted really hard to see my paper had a word on it. It said R. I looked down to my cousins and saw their papers. Those 2 words on my cousins' papers sent a shock through me. One said Disney and the other said World. Could it be? I stood there for a few moments until the adults told us they messed up the order of our words. We looked at each other's papers. Immediately, I yelled out, "We're going to Disney World?" My cousins froze. The adults' faces were smiles. My aunt told us, "We're going to Disney World this December." There was a moment of silence as the words sunk into my cousins' brains. Then everyone started to freak out. My cousins ran around dancing and singing, so happy we were going back to our favorite place. I stood there, my emotions too overcome to do anything. After we cooled off, my aunts explained that the Christmas hats would soon have names on them. Not our names, but we were renamed as the 7 Dwarfs. Each one of us was a different dwarf. I was happy. I couldn't wait to get home for the most amazing trip ever. When December had finally come and our departure date was coming the next day, I almost exploded with excitement. We had to go to the airport early, so my mom suggested we get some sleep. I got no sleep at all and spent the night thinking of all the fun I would have the next day. When I heard the music and saw the train station of the Magic Kingdom for a second time, it was like I had never seen it before. I was overwhelmed with joy. My family and I spent the entire day doing as much as we could before we had to go back to our hotel. Each morning I would wake my parents up so early that we could be there first. Although every day we would have to